can taste you, I can taste you.
Good morning. So 8:30 ng umaga on a Sunday. The 13th ba? Anyway, we are heading to another supermarket, which is kind of close by. We actually have a lot of supermarkets close by, and whatever your budget is, pwede kahit saan. Now, this place is called South Supermarket, and it is probably the cheaper version if you're going to buy bulk, pang, 1 month, 2 weeks, whatever. The thing that I like about this place is that it's actually pretty complete. I didn't go there a lot, especially during the pandemic, because I think one of the reasons why they're cheap is that they placed a lot of things in such a small area. So if you're walking in the aisle, the whole social distancing parang medyo mahirap i-implement. But we're gonna go there. I have to buy quite a few things, and when I do bulk, I like to go there kasi nga it's a little bit cheaper and complete. So isang baksakan lang when you go there. It's 8:30, maaga, because once it gets a little bit later, medyo dumadami yung tao kasi nga that's where people usually go para makatipid. We'll go there, we'll go shopping, and then when we get back, we're gonna do
till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways. And on we'll go. Along the way, melodies we haven't played. No, I don't want no rest. Echoing around these walls, fighting to create a song. I don't wanna miss a beat. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways. And on we'll go. See the horizon, turn us to thousands, and we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And
So, we're in the middle of it. So, we're halfway there. Medyo may music kasi that plays in the background. So, hindi ako makapagsalita. But, Yeah, we're halfway there. I just have to pick up the fish. They usually clean the fish when you pick it up.
Open eye, feel the waves cut through me, hypnotized by the sounds I'm breathing in. Hold tight, chemicals collide. Hold tight, hold tight, hold tight. Dripping lights paint the skies, all because of you.
And we are stopping at Starbucks because I remembered that my brother gave me gift certificates to Starbucks. So we're gonna use it because I don't know what to make. Ano siguro expiration to. We're back in the house. So we're gonna do a quick haul because we have to put the seafood and meats away. But it's 10:30. So this is all from the South Supermarket. And like I said, they're a little bit cheaper than if you go to like a Landmark or SNR. Kaya sometimes there's a lot of people there if the timing isn't right. I go there because they're actually pretty complete when it comes to the seafood. It's like a wet market here in the Philippines where, you know, they butcher fresh the chicken or the meat, but cleaner. We'll get going. This is the rice that we get. This is 10 kilos. It's pretty easy to find this type of rice. This is Thai jasmine. Really anywhere, but usually it's just 5 kilos. They actually have the 10 kilos there. And I think they even have the 20 sometimes if you time it right. So I get that because rice is life. And this one has to go to the... This is butter croissant. I love croissants. And this is frozen. This is the first time I'm gonna try it. And we'll see kung mainit, mas masarap siya. Alright, I'm gonna go through the meats para matanggal. We can put that away. Got bacon. You always have to have backup bacon. And you're not gonna see it because naka-plastic siya. Shrimp. Got shrimp, big shrimp. Okay. Taksay. Fish. Para siyang sapsap. They're like little small black fishes. And I got, they're little tiny ones, clams. This is about 2 kilos. We're gonna split it because I make my Cajun Lee and then Ryan has this dish that he likes, that my mom makes. So we'll do half of that. With that, as usual, we get chips, Cheetos, we get the plain one and the cheddar jalapeno. And once in a while, I like this. They're pretzels, they're pretzel thins, they're salted, so like for happy hour, just something to nibble on. That is good. Gulay, vegetables. Kangkong, I don't know the English. Ano ang English ng kangkong? Is it morning glory?
Water spinach.
Or water spinach. This is probably my favorite vegetable. So I don't know what I'm gonna do with this yet. But it's always in the fridge because I love these vegetables. You know, sinigang or igisa lang. This is pechay or pechay. Pechay. I know what pechay is in English. They're almost like they're like bok choy, but they're not. They're like native bok choy. They're not bok choy. So a lot of tomatoes, and you can see these tomatoes are like tiny tomatoes. In the Philippines, if you're not Filipino, you don't know, but we have this holy trinity of cooking. We call it gisa. and that is tomato, garlic, and onions. And almost every dish always starts with that. You know, if the French have the mirepoix or sofrito for the other side, we have gisa. So every Filipino household will always have the 3 trifecta. So we were out of that. I got kamatis, tomatoes as well, and bell pepper. Now, this is a pretty large bell pepper. If you go to the markets, they sell those the smaller, pointy red bell peppers, and they're a little bit cheaper. But I like the taste of this better, so I get the bigger one. They're a little bit more expensive. Lemons. This is from Ryan's list. We had to get lemons for his drinks. Like I mentioned before, he's experimenting with different kinds of mixes and cordials. So we got lemons and oranges. Same thing. That's from Ryan's wish list. One more thing from Ryan's wish list is orange juice. And this is actually the brand that we get when we're living in the US. It's Florida Natural. So they have that there. They actually have that anywhere. It's not uncommon to see that even in the non-known supermarkets. And then, apple juice. And I found some, which was it's sometimes hard to find, tomato juice. I get tomato juice for Ryan because he likes to make Bloody Marys once in a while. So we found that. And this is the only place that consistently has it, is fat-free Coffee Mate. I actually had to switch to creamer. I really don't like using creamer. I use half and half when I was living in the US, but I can't find it here. You guys, here. Yes. So, and Coffee Mate is obviously a very known brand here. There are cheaper brands. I get the Coffee Mate and I get the fat-free ones, and that place always has it, so I always keep one for backup. I've always been curious about pinakurat na suka. And I think when we were in the beach in Batangas a couple of days ago, this is the suka that they use, and Ryan really liked it, and I really liked it. So we'll see if it's the same thing. But I've been curious because even in Asian stores in LA, they actually had that. So I wanted to try it. We're having Korean for lunch. So I just got pio. Obviously, you don't have to. Because I also got non-peeled. Now, this is actually an interesting fact when I was watching the news the other day. This garlic is from Taiwan, and it is actually cheaper than if you get garlic that is grown locally, which I don't know why, it doesn't make sense. Our garlic locally is actually more flavorful and more aromatic when you cook it, but it's more expensive. So from a budgetary standpoint, I don't know why people, which is just kind of sad. I just noticed it the other day when they were showing the prices for garlic. So I got that. I got button mushrooms. They're a bit expensive here, but I like them with my omelette, and for happy hour we do fried mushrooms, so I just get a pack. Tofu. This is Korean tofu. There's Filipino, I guess you can't call it tofu, you call it tokwa. It's a very subtle taste difference. Cheese, eat it. When you make Filipino spaghetti, or at least for me, I always like to use this cheese. I don't like putting Parmesan or anything like that. This is what I put, a lot of it. So we ran out yesterday when we had spaghetti, so I got some today. Potatoes, you just always have a backup of potatoes in case there's a dish that needs mashed potatoes or roasted potatoes. Because I'm sort of in this detox mode, I'm back. I'm in commercial with the dogs. This is Japanese cucumbers. I like munching on them, putting them in my water. So I got a couple of those. They're a lot more expensive than just the regular cucumber, but. And there's always a 6-pack of corned beef. I know that there are what other people call the bitter corned beef, but I've always liked Pure Foods. I've always liked Pure Foods. I've tried the others. I like Pure Foods. One of the trips that I had here a few years ago when I came to visit, we actually had to buy a smaller bag because we brought home so much corned beef back to LA that we had to buy another checking bag. But yeah, so corned beef. Eggplant. I'm not a big fan of eggplant, but the only dish that I like with eggplants is tortang talong, which is you roast the eggplant and then you put an omelet on top of it. That's the only. But Ryan likes eggplant, so I get eggplants. Sitaw. Ano ba sitaw? I think it's Chinese long beans. This is one of the vegetables that I also like, so I always have it on standby. Sinigang or gisa or something like that. I have that. Cabbage. Always good cabbage. Ryan's a big fan of cabbage, so there's always backup cabbage. And as I was saying earlier, the trifecta of gisa, purple onions. So I think that's pretty much all the vegetables. I had to replenish. This is tocino. This is Ryan's favorite. So we also have that on standby all the time. We do a lot of happy hours and breads. It's a big thing. So we got some roti chanai. This is just good with like a yogurt sauce, or if you have leftover curry, we do that as well. One thing maybe I miss once in a while is the availability of Hass avocados. When I do find them here, they're super expensive. Not that it was super cheap in LA, but they're really, they're expensive here. So I'm gonna try this. I tried this before to make it a shake, but I think they put too much lemon, so the shake was almost like sour. And so that is that for South Supermarket. Like I said, this is all the basics, right? For the gisa, if you want to make something quick, at least you have everything in your fridge. We stopped at a Korean market, which is all over the place, anywhere in the Philippines, which is great. Because we wanted to have that for lunch. Oh! Always have breads, the usual Japanese breads that I like. So that was also from the South Market. We're gonna go do a quick haul from the Korean Mart close to our house. It's on the way home from South Supermarket. It's actually pretty complete. It's a pretty small shop, but anything to make Korean food, you have it. Okay, switch positions lang so that my mom can put away all that other stuff. This is from the Korean market by our house. That's where we go when we want to do Korean barbecue. It's the same as when you go to any Korean barbecue restaurant in LA, except that we bought our own tabletop griller. So it's pretty easy. So we got some mandu. You can see. Ryan's pretty finicky with dumplings, so we're gonna try that mandu. We always have kimchi in the fridge anyways, but I do love radish kimchi, so I always get that kimchi. If you watch any of the Korean mukbangers, or if you really know just authentic Korean food, they always have perilla leaves that they mix in with the lettuce when they eat their samgyeopsal. So, and I love it. It's cleanser when you eat, so hindi ka kaya masusuya. So I always get that. And of course, you need lettuce for samgyeop. These are sauces for tteokbokki, which actually is the first time we're going to make here because I'm not really a big fan of tteokbokki, but Ryan likes it, so we're going to try to make it for lunch today. And speaking of tteokbokki, it comes this way. I'm not married to any particular brand, so I just got what the quantity serves its purpose. And you get a bunch of, I get a bunch of different marinade sauces, and I just mix and match because it just seems to work. I actually figured that out when I was cleaning out the fridge one day, and I had all this half empty bottles of Korean marinade. So I just put it all in one bag and put a bunch of meats in there, and it actually works. So it's a bit spicy, it's a bit sweet. You don't know if it's one particular marinade. So I just get a bunch of different marinades. The spicy tofu soup that you get at Korean markets, which I love. Sometimes they put seafood. A lot of times they put seafood actually. I don't know what this is. They're like corn chips. Oh, my brother actually got that, not me. So I don't know what those are. And the ubiquitous king oyster mushrooms. That tastes really good grilled. I love the flavor of it. I'm actually a pretty big mushroom eater. Ryan stopped eating mushrooms, or has become a little bit more finicky with mushrooms. I don't know why, but so he picks in his mushrooms now when he eats, unlike before where he just ate any mushrooms. So I'm not sure. Okay, so we'll go to the meats. This is I'm not even gonna try to say the Korean word, but it's basically beef. We got a couple of those because even if we don't eat them, I keep them in the marinade and chuck them in the freezer. So the next time we feel like Korean barbecue, we just have to defrost it, and the extra flavor is already in there because it's been marinated for so long. Of course, you gotta get your pork. I think this is like bacon. It just says pulled pork, but usually it says pork belly. So we're gonna try that. And we got a couple of course, bulgogi. So those are the meats. We're gonna let them defrost, and that is it. That is the grocery haul that we did from South and the Korean Mart. Like I said, every couple of weeks I go to a market depending on what the house needs. It's a different market, but I will take you along to the other supermarkets that is around the area. So that is it. I will catch you guys later. Happy Sunday. So as I always do, I get the boys a little surprise every time I go out. And I found that at South Supermarket for like 80 pesos. It's a piggy bank. Well, it used to be a piggy bank. Now, do you like it? Walton has a bit of a injury. It's bandaged over there. His dew claw got caught in something, and we took him to the vet, and they had to basically remove the nail from the dew claw. So it's a little bit Captain Hook. Yay!